Hola mi gente, Vivian Rivera with Hernando Hispanic Heritage Network. Thank you for joining us at another episode. And I am here today with a special guest who I respect, admire, and who has brought so much to the Hernando community. And I'm excited to introduce to you, for those that may not know her, because honestly, a lot of you already do know her. And so I welcome Jasmin Gracia.
Hello.
Hola, Jasmin. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better and share with everyone who is Jasmin Gracia, how she landed here in Spring Hill, and the difference that she is making in our community. So let's take it from the top. Where were you born?
I was born in New York City in the Bronx.
Okay.
And from there, at the age of 3, my father decided to move to Wilmington, Delaware first.
Okay.
And then we were there 6 months, and then we moved to Puerto Rico.
The Enchantment Island. Mm-hmm. So you were a child.
Yes.
So your childhood years were spent there? Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And then when I was in 4th grade, towards the middle of 4th grade, I came to Delaware.
Okay.
Well, that's not here.
Uh-huh.
I went to Delaware, and there I went to school. I had very interesting, I guess, things that were new to me, experiences that were new to me while I was there. They wanted to put me in ESOL, and everything like that. And the principal there actually was my director for my master's.
Okay.
It was just years later, they wanted to hold me back that year.
Wow.
And I said, my mom fought it and said, no, it's not the English that's the problem. It was really the teachers and everything like that.
Well,
in the
listen,
system.
I hate to interrupt you, but we have similar story, because I will tell you this much. I was born in Newark, New Jersey, and when I was 4, my mom moved to Puerto Rico with my grandparents, and so my childhood was also in Caguas, Puerto Rico, and so my upbringing is straight up from over there. The culture, the taste of the food, the neighborhood love, the kindness, and all that other stuff. And I think that plays a lot into who we are today.
Yes.
Because that was embedded into us, that love of community that is so rich in the island. And I'll tell you what, I came back to New Jersey when I was 12 years old, and I also was an ESOL student. So I always say to the kids,
they didn't put me on ESOL.
They didn't put you in ESOL. Oh no, I landed in ESOL. And listen, I am not ashamed of that. Actually, I tell everyone now that is in an ESOL program, there's nothing to be ashamed if you are using that time wisely and investing into learning what you came there to learn. Because I was put in ESOL, but I made it my business that I was going to get out of there and be with everybody else. And so I made it happen,
My mom was bilingual, so she had already taught me both English and Spanish.
Okay.
And we read a lot.
That's a beautiful benefit. So you went to high school in Delaware. You also did college.
Yes.
In Delaware.
Yes.
And graduated from?
I graduated from. I did my bachelor's in the University of Delaware, and then my master's in Wilmington University.
So you have a master's degree. That's fantastic. And so, what is your teacher? Did you start teaching in Delaware? Where does your teaching start?
Yeah, I started when I was 21, just turned 21.
Wow, straight out of school.
Yep. And I taught where I graduated from, the school that I graduated from. I've taught high school, then I went to middle school, then I went to elementary school, and then I landed here, and I said, I'm gonna have to come up with another field as well, because there's only certain amount of Spanish teachers. They don't put that much emphasis in languages here.
Okay.
So one day, I came in, they said they couldn't give me the job that I was here for. I almost died.
That's after you relocated yourself.
After I relocated, yeah.
Your son, because you have a boy, right? So you were here 2 weeks.
I moved in 2 weeks.
Oh, you moved in 2 weeks. And after you relocate to become a teacher here, they tell you, sorry, you're still missing some stuff that we need for you to do this.
Yes.
So what happens then?
So I panicked. I cried.
And you strapped your boots, got up?
Yep, I became a substitute teacher. That's the only thing that I could do right there and then, because I have my son. So I couldn't just get any job either. I was here by myself with my son. So then when the summer came, again, I cried. I didn't know what I was going to do. And one of the paras at West Hernando Middle School actually worked for a lady called Christine Hogan. And she had a respite position that she gave to me. It was a girl that actually was a student in where I work now. At the time, I was not at that school. I volunteered for Special Olympics. I was a swimming coach, and was able to bring the child with me. So I was at the pool. I told the child, okay, now it's time to go, let's go. And the principal, where I work now, was actually there, and she says, how did you do that? And I said, how did I do what? I just treat her like any other kid. And she just got up and came with me, because that's what I said.
Right.
And so then I became a special needs teacher there.
That's awesome. Listen, I commend you, because it takes a lot of patience and wisdom and caring to be a special teacher for a special student. And that's awesome that your principal happened to be there to see you hands-on and appreciate what you were doing, so that you can land this place that you, so there's no coincidence, I always say, you know, so you were meant to be where you're at, and that's amazing. So what else has happened since you came to Spring Hill? I know you're continue to teach in our school system. Thank you so much for that. And I want to bring up something that I'm not sure how comfortable you are, and I apologize in advance for putting you in the spot. And if you do not want to talk about it, just let me know and we'll move on, okay? You had a life experience a few years back that changed you and took a lot from you to become again Jasmin. So are you willing to share with everyone a little bit about what that change was and that season of your life that you got through, that you fought through to get to where we're at today?
I was taking my son to his first job. He wanted to mow lawns.
Okay.
So I took him there, and it was around Deltona, a little bit close to where I work. And that morning, while he was doing that, I didn't come back. They told me, I was able to speak to someone and be able to put everything back together. They told me that I had a cerebral stroke. A blood clot went into my brain and exploded there.
Wow.
So one of my coworkers actually lived there, and I fell in front of her house. She didn't know it was me at the time. She said that my hands, that I looked like a fish out of water, that I just fell flat with my hands on my side. I was in 4 days in intensive care, and then they took me over to Jacksonville for therapy, because they saw that I woke up right away. So they wanted to just, and I got lucky again there, because they usually don't have room.
Praise God.
So they took me there, and I came back 1 month after, on the day of my birthday.
Oh, what a great birthday gift to be able to return home. Were you healthy at that point when you came back home?
I thought that I was, mostly. My parents were too, they were on me the whole time. They were too scared.
Right.
And everything.
What were some of the repercussions from that stroke that you had to overcome and get through?
Well, they gave me therapy because it exploded in the part of my brain that affected my walking and my memory.
So you lost your memory, and you had to work on regaining?
And regaining it.
And you were not able to walk, so you had to learn how to get your balance and
everything.
Good Lord.
I tried to dance salsa at the hospital, and everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm okay. You just have to. There was one thing. They have to let me a little bit try, because if you're walking for me, how do I know what I can do?
Right.
So I also did that. My friends kidnapped me from my mom, and we went to the beach, and I did the Zumba class, basically almost sitting.
Okay.
And they knew all of my routines, so they did everything.
But you know what? your attitude towards that is a great plus, because I, as you know, I too went through a season of my life, health related, and my doctors and everybody working with me was saying that how you face that situation determines a lot of the healing part of it, not only physically but emotionally, because you're not the same person. So now not only are you fighting and working to get healthy again, but you're also bummed out, I guess, of not being you, not being able to do the things that you, so it becomes a struggle.
Especially when you do everything by yourself.
And you're a single mom.
Yes.
So
you're used to having energy, you know. Just a few months ago, I tried to do a Zumba class and I just broke down and cried. I couldn't even do half of the stretches. Even though I could do dancing, that's the thing that kind of keeps me up. But I don't dance all the time either.
Right.
People don't realize that that's like maybe 10% of the energy that I used to have.
Right. No, and I respect it, and I so understand, and I'm sure many people that are watching can relate if they've been through something similar with their health, that it is a setback and a half.
Yes.
And then you have to reinvent yourself.
And battle that mentally as well.
PTSD is real. I mean, I don't know how it plays on you, but I have to say from my personal experience, it's something that I counseled and got help, because it is you having to love and learn yourself, the new you, the new version of you, while letting go of that old one and accepting, like, hey, look, I'm not going to be 100% energy anymore. It's a training that you have to adapt to. But I commend you. I thank God for having you here with me today. I thank God for having you doing the things that you're doing for our community, for giving back. And so I wanted you to share what inspired you to do what you're doing here with the food truck meet, and why it's so important for you to give back to the community as well. So if you could just share with everybody how that happened.
No, after I had a couple surgeries, I went over to Deltona, Florida. My cousin had invited me. He was working, he does cheesesteaks, and he's a caterer. So he said, just go and relax. You know, I'm working by Daytona Beach at a hotel there. Just go relax, and then, you know, take the weekend for yourself. So I did. He forgot his banner, and he had an event the next day. So I said, no problem. I typed up his menu, and I started going, and I started handing it out to others. It was my first food truck rally. So I went to a table that was a nonprofit organization there, and they actually were there for special needs kids. So I started talking to her, and I was like, wow, this is you guys are doing this together? Yep. And I said, well, why can't we do it? It's about the same size of town. And we had a lot of food trucks that were coming at the same time. And I said, let's do it. And 2 months later, I went on the cruise, and I was working from the cruise. And that next month, boom.
You did your first food meet here in Spring Hill.
Yep.
And that was what year? 2020. My gosh. I can't believe where time has gone. Look at you. Because I remember when you were first getting to do this, we actually, when I say we, Hernando Hispanic Heritage had the blessing that you gave us the opportunity to be a nonprofit at one of your events, or two of the events, I'm not sure. I know for sure we did a Christmas one where my husband played Santa, and we still have pictures, and it was awesome. So it did benefit our nonprofit organization. And I want to, again, we've spoken about this. We want to continue to collaborate with the food truck meet moving forward, and supporting. And as a community, I think that is such an awesome event, because it is a free event. So you're not charging people for coming. You're giving the food trucks a platform or a place where people could just come straight to them, try them out, and taste their food. So you're, especially during 2020 when you started that, people just weren't trying to mingle or be out, but it's a public environment. So now it's easier. It's a family event, because I've seen you have like crafts for the kids, bouncy
face
house.
painters.
Yeah, face painters. So I have a question for you. Now that you got 3 years almost in, what are the goals for 2024?
Well,
anything you can share with us, rather.
Yeah, I don't want to share too much.
No, we can never share too much.
Probably about a month or so.
Okay.
Only 2 people know this. But we are going to be hosting I'll just tell you where they are. They're going to be in Great Rooms, so thank you, Great Rooms. Thank you, Rafael, for giving us that location. We have a location that's big enough now for us to hold bigger events.
And where is Great Rooms?
That is on Spring Hill Drive.
Okay.
And it's a little bit past Deltona, Cass Circle, they refer to it
Cass Circle,
as.
okay, off of Spring Hill Drive, perfect. So that's where your event takes place.
Yes. And it will be 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. now that it's a little bit colder and it gets darker faster. And then when spring comes around, it's going to be 4 to 8.
And that's the first one is January 20th, right?
The first one is January 20th.
So I want to get this right. So the first food truck rally for this year is going to be the 20th, Cass Circle by Great Rooms. And anyone who wants to learn more about these rallies, how to sponsor, become a vendor, or even attend with the family and enjoy and make a day out of it, because there's music. So you could actually chill there,
and
enjoy the music, play some games. There's always some raffles happening. How can they stay on top of the calendar to know when the events are happening or follow you and the food truck page?
Right now we have a Facebook page called Spring Hill Food Truck Meetup. I also advertise in different platforms as well, but pretty soon we'll have our own webpage as well.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. So follow on Facebook so that you can find out what days, what themes, what nonprofits she's supporting, because that's one thing she also adopted, and she's always contributing to a nonprofit. And I want to say this, I want to take the liberty, and not just because Jasmin is here, we've talked about this many times behind the scenes. This is the original, the OG of the food truck rally here in Spring Hill. Why I bring that up is because it is so common, and we see this so often, that when there is proof of concept, and I say proof of concept because sometimes we have ideas and we try to recruit people to help us, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't know about all that. Yeah. But once we launch ourselves and we do what we set out to do, and it's successful, not only do you find people that want to come alongside you, but then you also find people trying to duplicate what you worked and what you. But I will say that the reason that I point out that she is the OG is because she created that foundation for others. And the most intriguing, and I don't want to say intriguing is not the part that I respect, that's the word, is that there is no personal interest. There is others that may do this for personal gain, okay? They're charging the trucks and keeping the money, or the vendors, or whatever the case may be. I don't even know the details, but I do know the details of your event is simply just to give back to the community, to offer the food trucks a platforms, and to give families in Hernando something to do, somewhere to go, and have a nice little time out. So what else can you add about the events and about, the community?
Well, I could just basically say that I do that because it's kind of giving, like you were saying, worked for everyone. So no, I'm not trying to have artists there for free or anything like that, because I feel like my DJ is a great DJ, and I know their family. There's a need. That's why they're doing that, because that's a job.
Right.
So I don't want to say, oh, they'll do that for free, or they'll do that for free. My purpose in having it is so that everybody can do and have somewhere where
you
they
respect
can go
the job. You respect that what they're doing is their job and is what puts food on their table.
Yes.
So you just make sure that you generate money so that you can pay everyone for their work that day.
Yes.
But then you're not profiting besides that, and you're helping nonprofits along the way and giving them also a platform. I think that is awesome. Hernando Hispanic Heritage is excited and looking forward to collaborating much more with you this year here, now that we have more volunteers, because I know when you started, if you remember, we didn't actually have it quite together as we do now with the board and volunteers. So I'm excited that we have extra people on board now that can show up to these events and rotate and support you.
That'd be good.
Absolutely. So listen, guys, if you have a business and you want to become a vendor, follow the Facebook page to find out how you could do that. If you want to sponsor the event so she can help cover the cost and the community can enjoy this, you can also do that as well. And if you just want to come and have a great day, follow again the page so that you can find out when those events are, what the themes are, and who she is contributing to that month.
Yes. And I forgot to, the theme of this one is a hot sauce eating contest. And then there's also a hot sauce contest in general for those who make the hot sauce, where they can show off their hot sauce, and the public, you can, actually there is a fee, I forgot, it's only $10 to be able to enter the tasting. And you'll get your form and you'll be able to vote on those. Nobody's gonna know whose is whose until the end.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Oh my God, that's a great idea. I love it. See, you're always thinking ahead, and I like that. I respect that, because that gives an opportunity for these guys to get their product out there in the community so that they can sell it, and people that might not know that, hey, they made their hot sauce. I never knew that. And
it's all in fun. It's not a competition. I made it that way so that people aren't like, oh, but they're friends. Right. And that's why they did this, and you know.
And listen, that's what it's all about. Again, it's about supporting each other, helping each other, and growing together. We don't have to keep knocking each other down. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We are all gonna be okay. We're all going to be okay, and I do believe in working together, and that's why I have you here. Again, thank you for taking the time, for coming out today, sharing a little bit with the community and myself on who is Jasmin Gracia. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.